So the story kicks off in Wichita. We're at this massive salvage yard, just a huge garage full of junk. Inside, there's a woman named June Evans. June's been on this long, frustrating hunt for a specific car part, and she finally found it. The thing is, she's trying to restore her dad's vintage car, but this one part was impossible to find. It's why she flew all the way here from Boston. Her trip was a total success. She's got the part her dad's car needs, so she heads straight for the airport. This is where we first see Roy. He's at the same airport, also trying to get to Boston, but his flight just got delayed. Being who he is, he immediately starts scanning the crowd, paying very close attention to everyone, especially anyone carrying bulky luggage. That's when he spots June. He notices she's hauling a large, heavy bag. From that moment, Roy starts watching her. A little later, he accidentally bumps into her, apologizes, but you can tell his eyes are still glued to her. So June heads to the security checkpoint. Her bag goes through the scanner and it lights up. All the metal inside triggers the alarm. When they open it, they just find a bunch of old car parts. June has to explain the whole story. She's fixing her dad's car to give to her sister as a wedding gift, since she's getting married soon. With that, security lets her through. Sure enough, Roy bumps into her again. They do the awkward sorry, no sorry thing. June finally gets to the counter, but the agent tells her the flight is completely full. She can't get a ticket. June starts to panic, explaining, "Please, don't do this. My sister is getting married. It's so important for me to be on this flight." Meanwhile, Roy is scanning the gate area. He spots several people and knows they're agents. He turns to June and cryptically says, "Sometimes what happens is for the best," before walking away. We then see one of those agents, a guy named John, talking to his superior. He says, "We've got eyes on Roy. We're moving in." John then notices June, remembering that Roy was just talking to her. He assumes she must be working with Roy. So, to test this theory, he does something clever. He confirms June's ticket. A moment later, the gate agent tells June, "Great news! We found an empty seat for you." June is thrilled, gets on the flight, and sees that almost every single seat is empty. She spots Roy already sitting. June is honestly happy about this because she's already starting to like him. She takes her seat and starts chatting with him, saying, "This is crazy. The whole plane is empty, and they told me it was full. No wonder the airlines are failing." They just keep talking like that, sharing their dreams and what they want out of life. The flight hits some serious turbulence. June's bag falls from the overhead, but Roy smoothly catches it. Unfortunately, the jolt makes June spill her drink all over her clothes. She says she needs to use the washroom. She heads in not just to clean up, but to freshen up a bit, hoping to impress Roy. The second she's gone, Roy's demeanor changes. He's suspicious. He knows John put her on this flight on purpose. He also knows that every other passenger on this plane is a CIA agent. They all know he has the Zephyr battery, and they're here to get it. To protect her, Roy locks June inside the bathroom. The moment he does, the other agents attack, trying to arrest him. But Roy is on another level. A massive fight breaks out. They come at him one by one, and he takes every single one of them down, leaving them unconscious. Bullets start flying. One of the stray bullets hits the pilot, killing him instantly. The plane immediately starts to nosedive, shaking violently. Roy, completely calm, unlocks the washroom door. He quickly props all the unconscious agents up in their seats, grabs 2 fresh drinks, and just waits for June. She comes out, totally oblivious, and, thinking he saved her from the turbulence, plants a kiss on him. She immediately pulls back, thinking he didn't like it, and starts apologizing. Roy, super comfortably, just says, "There's a small problem. Everyone sitting here, they all tried to attack me, so I had to kill everyone. And the pilots, they were in on it too. Anyway, I have to fly the plane now." June just bursts out laughing. She thinks he's making a really weird joke. But Roy is dead serious. "I'm telling the truth. I'm going to the cockpit to see if I can land this thing." June still doesn't believe him and just keeps giggling. Roy goes into the cockpit. The plane lurches again, and all the unconscious bodies start falling out of their seats. That's when June gets scared. She runs to the cockpit and sees it. The pilot is really dead, and Roy is actually flying the plane. Roy just tells her to sit tight as they've reached Boston. He manages to make an emergency landing, scraping the plane across a huge field. They finally climb out. June is, understandably, terrified. Roy casually mentions he's been shot but is totally fine. He hands her a drink. He says it's a knockout drug. As she's drinking it, he quickly explains everything. "Some people are going to come for you," he says. "They'll ask about me. Don't tell them anything. Never get in their car. And if they tell you you're completely safe, that's when you know you're in the most danger." As she's processing this, she says okay, and passes out. Right after she's out, the plane explodes behind him. The next thing June knows, she's opening her eyes, in her own bed, at home. Her clothes are different. There are little sticky notes left everywhere from Roy. He even made her an omelet. Completely baffled, June gets dressed and goes to meet her sister. We can see that the CIA is already following her. June meets up with her sister, and they're supposed to be finalizing the wedding dress. But then her sister drops a bomb. She wants to sell their father's car, the very car June just risked her life to get parts for. She wants to use the money for a down payment on a house. June is so disappointed by this that she just walks out. The moment she's outside, CIA agents surround her and force her into their car. John, the agent from the airport, sits in front of her. He explains, "I'm a CIA agent. Roy used to be an agent, but he betrayed us. He stole something priceless. We've just found out you're working with him. So, tell us where he is." June, telling the truth, says, "I don't even know him." John scoffs and shows her surveillance footage from the airport. "We saw you talking." June insists, "I don't know him. He just bumped into me." John leans in, trying to sound reassuring, and says, "It's okay. You are completely safe." The instant June hears those words, her blood runs cold. She remembers Roy's warning and knows something terrible is about to happen. And right on cue, bullets start flying. Roy is here. He starts taking out all the agents one by one with lethal precision. He kills several agents in the car, and just as the driver of their car is shot. So June frantically starts driving the car. Just then, Roy leaps from above and lands right on the car's roof. He's yelling at her to open the door, but June is ignoring him. All this time, a ton of people are shooting at Roy, so he's busy shooting back at them. The car finally speeds into a tunnel, and June unlocks the door. As Roy tries to get in, the open door smacks a car behind them, causing an accident. Roy tumbles inside, and somehow, they manage to get away safely. Once they're a little further away, Roy stops the car and pulls June behind it for cover, as bullets are flying everywhere. June is, understandably, terrified. Roy tells her, "There's nothing to be afraid of." He then pulls out his gun and says, "I'm going to talk to him now." He pauses, then clarifies, "Actually, I'm not going to talk to him. I'm going to kill him." The second he says this, Roy takes off. June, having had enough, just starts running away, but Roy is right behind her. June manages to get away and meets up with her friend, Rodney, a firefighter who has a pretty obvious crush on her. The two of them are sitting in a cafe when, of course, Roy walks in. He sits down and starts talking to Rodney, and they're actually having a normal, friendly conversation. That's when June leans over to Rodney and whispers, "That's the guy I was telling you about." The moment she says it, Roy stands up, pulls a gun, puts it to June's head, and handcuffs her. He tells Rodney, "Stay put. Nothing will happen to you." And with that, he starts dragging June out. Rodney, being a hero, tries to follow, so Roy just shoots him in the leg. As Rodney's on the ground, Roy leans in and says, "Don't worry, this is a good thing. You'll probably get a promotion. You'll be a national hero." Then he just continues to drag June away. Once they're outside, he explains why he did that. He says if he hadn't, everyone would assume they were working together. But now, everyone just saw him kidnap her, so no one will suspect she's involved. June is terrified and furious. She screams at Roy, "I don't trust you at all. Those other agents were better than you." This makes Roy angry. He just uncuffs her and says, "Fine, go wherever you want. I'll go alone. But remember one thing, if I'm not with you, you won't be alive for long." June immediately realizes he's right. She sighs and starts following him. "Fine, where are we going?" Roy tells her, "We're going to find Simon." This is when Roy finally tells her the whole story. He explains, "The CIA is after me because I have the Zephyr battery. It's incredibly powerful. The guy who made it, Simon, is still in college. He's a genius. When I was with the CIA, my job was to watch Simon. But I found out that my partner, John, wanted to kill Simon and sell the battery on the black market. If he killed Simon, I'd be blamed for it, since he was my responsibility. So I grabbed the battery and hid Simon. The CIA has been after me ever since. Now we have to go get Simon." June finally understands what's going on. They get to the warehouse where Roy stashed Simon, but he's gone. He left a cryptic message on the wall for Roy. After studying it, Roy figures it out. Simon is on a train to Austria. Apparently, he really likes trains. Just as Roy deciphers this, bullets start flying. June gets scared and asks if it's more CIA agents. Roy says, "No, these guys are from an international gangster named Antonio Quintana. He's also after the battery." More and more men keep showing up, shooting at them. June starts to panic, so Roy hands her another one of his knockout drinks. "Drink this." The second she drinks it, she passes out, and Antonio's people capture them. The next time June wakes up, she sees Roy hanging from the ceiling. He just tells her not to worry, breaks himself free, and they escape in a helicopter. They land on a beautiful, remote island. June wakes up again and finds herself there. Roy explains it's his secret hideout, but June is just angry at him. She grabs her stuff and tries to run away. She finds Roy's phone, and as she's looking through it, she sees a Boston address, a garage with a car. Just then, her sister calls. They start talking, but this allows Antonio to trace her location. He sends his men after her. June quickly realizes she can't get off the island alone, so she goes back to Roy and starts arguing with him. This turns into Roy teaching June how to fight, and they start to get closer. They're just about to kiss when Antonio's men attack. They hide. Roy asks, "Did you call someone?" June admits her sister called her. Roy curses, pulls out a hidden helicopter, and says they have to leave. June sees the helicopter and says, "No way, I'm not getting in that. You'll just knock me out again." This time, Roy doesn't give her a bottle. He just touches a pressure point on her neck, and she's out cold. When June wakes up this time, she's on a train. It's the same train going to Austria, the one Simon is on, but Roy is nowhere to be seen. She gets out of her room and starts searching the train for him. She ends up at the dining car and grabs some breakfast. A man comes up to her, a hired killer. He starts talking to her, saying weird things like, "Most people die on trains. No one survives an accident." June, remembering her mission, thinks this must be the genius. She asks, "Are you Simon?" The killer just says, "Yes." Just then, June notices a note stuck to her shoe. It's from Roy. It says he's also on the train with the real Simon and tells her to stay in her room. She realizes this guy is not Simon. She starts running. The killer chases her. June makes it to the kitchen, but the killer corners her. "Where is Roy?" he asks, about to kill her. Right on cue, Roy appears and they start fighting. This killer is tough. He gets some good hits on Roy and actually knocks him down. As the killer grabs June, she uses the exact move Roy taught her, saving herself. The knife goes flying and sticks in the killer. Roy takes advantage of the opening, kicks the killer so hard he's hanging out of the train, and he's killed instantly by a pole. When the train pulls into the station, John, the crooked agent, gets on. He sees a circle drawn on the window glass. Looking through it, he spots Roy outside. John meets him. Roy says, "You'll die for both of them, Simon and June. If you want them safe, give me the battery." Roy asks, "If I give you the battery, will they both be safe?" John says yes. Roy agrees. He heads to a hotel where June is also waiting. Roy intentionally makes a phone call where June can overhear, saying he's going out to meet someone. Of course, when Roy leaves, June follows him. She sees Roy go out and meet a woman named Naomi, who works for Antonio. Roy is making a deal to sell the battery to Antonio, even naming his price. June is heartbroken. As she leaves, the CIA grabs her. June is taken to the CIA director, Isabel George. Isabel tells June, "Roy is just using you." She shows her the airport footage. "See, when he first bumped into you, he planted the Zephyr battery in your bag. When you got through security, he bumped into you again and took it back." She asks June to help them. She gives June a pen. "Go to Roy. When you see the battery, press this button. It's a transmitter. We'll be there immediately." June takes the pen and goes back to Roy's hotel room. They talk. Roy takes out the battery, saying it's getting too hot, and puts it in a bucket of ice. June asks him, "How much are you selling it for?" And she presses the trigger on the pen. Roy knows immediately. He sadly says goodbye. Just then, CIA agents swarm the building. Roy grabs the battery and runs. The agents put June in their car. She watches as Roy runs across the rooftops. They start shooting at him. He gets hit. Roy falls from the roof into the water below. Everyone says he's dead. They send June back home. June makes it back for her sister's wedding, but she's just lost in thought, always thinking about Roy. Meanwhile, we see John, who is transporting Simon with another agent. They had caught Simon earlier. The agent asks, "Where are we going?" "I think we're lost." John just shoots the agent. He calls Antonio and says, "I didn't find the battery, but I have the guy who made it." June goes to the garage. She tells her friend that her sister doesn't want the car, so she's keeping it. "I have a grudge against this car," she says. As she says it, a song comes on the radio. She recognizes it instantly. It was the ringtone on Roy's phone. She remembers the address she saw on his phone, the one with the garage. She looks it up online and finds the place is only an hour away. She jumps in her dad's car and starts driving. She notices she's being followed, but she uses her own cleverness to trick them and get away. She finally reaches the house and starts peeping inside. Two elderly people come out. They see June is soaking wet and invite her in. June asks them about Roy. They act like they don't know who he is. But then June sees a picture of Roy. She learns his real name is Matthew Knight. He was in the army, a scout, and won a ton of awards. He could cross the biggest river in one go. But they tell her he died during a war in Kuwait. June starts putting it all together. She finds out the old couple always wins the lottery, which is how they live. She understands Roy does all of this. He's always watching them. She realizes this was all Roy's plan, to get her to her sister's wedding, to get her out of this mess. He faked his own death to set her free, and he's probably still alive. So June plays a trick to find him. She turns on her phone and says, "I know you guys are listening, so let me tell you, I have the Zephyr battery." Just as she hoped, Antonio's men show up immediately. They take June to Spain. Antonio confronts her and gives her truth serum. "Where's the battery?" June, high as a kite, tells him, "I don't have it. I deliberately put myself in danger because I know whenever I'm in trouble, Roy comes out of nowhere and saves me. And I believe he'll come save me this time too." Antonio is furious. "Fix this girl," he orders. As he storms out, we see John. John says, "I brought Simon." And sure enough, Simon is in John's car. Antonio's men are dragging June away to kill her when, right on cue, Roy shows up. He's watching June. He starts taking out everyone one by one and saves her. They're still being shot at. June looks at him. "You're not happy to see me?" Roy just grabs her and kisses her, but he knows they're surrounded. He gets June on his motorcycle and they tear out of there. Antonio's men are right behind them, but Roy is following Simon, who's in John's car. They speed into the city, but there's a problem. It's the running of the bulls. Bulls are charging down every street. Antonio's men are among the bulls, still shooting at them. Roy fights them off. Antonio himself is chasing them. Roy, using his brain, maneuvers his bike and forces Antonio's car right into the path of the bulls. The car is crushed, and Antonio is killed. Now Roy just has to follow John. He finally catches up to him. John pulls a gun on Simon. "Give me the battery, or I'll kill him." Roy, seeing this, hands the battery over. John starts to leave. Simon just says, "No problem. I'll make another one." Hearing this, John turns to shoot Simon. Roy dives in front, saving Simon, but Roy gets shot. As John is escaping, Simon yells to him, "You know one thing? The formula for that battery was wrong. It's unstable. It could blast any time." Just as he says it, the battery explodes and John is killed. But Roy has been shot. He's badly wounded and passes out. When Roy wakes up, he's in a different city, in a hospital bed. Director Isabel is there. She apologizes. "We made a huge mistake not trusting you. You're our best agent. We want you to work for us again. But first, you're being sent to a safe place." She leaves. A nurse comes in and gives Roy some medicine. The second he takes it, he passes out. We see the nurse. It's June. Now June cunningly wheels Roy out. Many days later, Roy opens his eyes. He finds himself in the middle of somewhere beautiful, and June is with him. He thanks her and asks, "Where are we going?" June just smiles and says, "To follow your dreams." They're going to the very place they talked about on the flight, and that's where the film ends.